My channel, I am a recovering loser. Okay. But I have committed to do this series called Road to My First Million. Let me just tell you, I have come a long way. For the past 20 years, I literally have been a loser. And I'm not even just saying that, like I've been in my own little corner, in my own little chair, making very little impact, making impact, but very little impact. I am a financial coach and I do have workshops and I help clients one-on-one with their credit, money management, all of that kind of stuff, right? And I've been doing this um, about, man, for 20 years. But I say I'm a loser, and I was a loser because I've never put my whole self, right? I've never put my whole self into my goal, into my dream. Um, I always let rejection stop me. For years, when I graduated when I graduated high school, and when I was in college, baby, you couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna be a Broadway singer, huh? You couldn't tell me that, right? But along the way, I let rejection stop me. I let discouragement creep in, and I got depressed, and I just gave up, right? So I, did a little things here, but then just didn't take it to the top. You know what I mean? But this time, with Road to My First Million, I am not only putting my whole self into this endeavor, uh, but I am going to document it. And I'm making a commitment to myself and to you that I'm going to show up on here and document and meet with you all and tell you what's going on, right? So let me tell you a little bit about what I envision for this series. I don't know how long it'll be, um, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to consistently come in and talk about what I'm doing on this journey. So, as I said, I'm a financial coach, and I came across this video. I don't know if y'all heard of Myron Golden, right? But I came across this video that he did, and he was talking about it's easier to make a whole lot of money in a little time than it is to make a little money in a lot of time. And it kind of messed up my mind because I'm a financial coach and that sounds good, but how can we do it? And then I heard another video where he talks about King Solomon and how he talks about big ticket offers. So me and my grandmother was watching this together and he was like, everyone needs a $10,000 offer, right? And that sounded good. It sounded very aspirational, right? But looking at me, where I'm literally just teaching you how to fix your credit and I'm literally teaching you how to fix your money, how can I turn that into a $10,000 offer, right? And my grandmother challenged me. She was like, Michelle, what are you gonna do? So I just began to go on Chat GPT and just asking, chat different questions, here, chat, this is what I do. This is my experience. This is what I love to do. This is what I've been doing for 20 years. I don't necessarily like this portion of it, but I can do it. I said, based on these things, what what do you think I can offer as a $10,000 offer? So chat came back with some things and it was good and it was okay. You know what I'm saying? And chat was like, you can help people with estate, will encourage people, bring them into a cohort and you have different people, doing things, you have estate planning where they can get their trust, make sure they have their insurance. You're bringing the whole thing together with credit and money management, but you're having contractors to come and work with you. And I was like, that's nice, that's good, right? And that's very valuable. I said, but I want something more. I said, because when I look at this picture, I don't see how I'm needed. I can see that I'm bringing things together, but I don't see how I'm needed in this equation. Yes, I'm helping people with credit and money management, but it's not a $10,000 value. You know what I mean? So I was going back and forth, and I saw this statistic, and it literally changed everything for me. And the statistic is 70% of wealth is gone by the second generation, and 30% is gone by, I mean, 90% is gone by the third generation. So that just means, like, if you have grandchildren, for 90% of you, your wealth won't last to your grandchildren or past your grandchildren. And that bothered me because it's like, okay, I've been a coach for longer than some of these people been born, and you telling me my work does not bring that average down, does not help that average or help that statistic. And that bothered me. So I just began to do research, and it really sent me down a rabbit hole, right? And I found out what the problem is. I began to study wealthy families, and I saw what principles, what rules they made around their money. I saw what standards they had and what policies they had in place for their children. And I learned a word that I've never heard before. Working in financial education for 20 years, I've never heard the word governance, right? But that's really what they do. They provide governance and like a family government, for the family. And that's really how the rich, the ultra rich, those that are $100 million or more, they have these things called family offices. Again, I've been in this thing a whole long time, but never heard of family offices, right? And so I began to studying and learning how family offices and work. And I said, that's the ticket. I said, why should these Rockefeller level principles be just for people that have Rockefeller money, right? So then I found my value began to, or at least my interest began to rise up. And I said, maybe I can do this for regular families. Maybe I can teach these concepts and these principles and bring these same systems that they live by and that they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for. Maybe I can distill it and bring those same systems to regular families like you and like yours and mine, right? And that's what I'm doing. It's called Family Office Founders. And I'm bringing those same principles to us, right? To really ensure that we have a chance at generational wealth, right? So that's what this challenge is about. Okay. I'm doing Road to My First Million. So I definitely invite you to join me. I will be doing updates. I can't tell you how I'm gonna do it at least once a week, once every 2 weeks, something like that. And when I get my first million, you will know it. Okay. So let me just again continue to tell you about myself. So I say I'm a loser because, like I told you, I haven't had any accomplishments. But when the student, have you ever heard when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? That's what's been happening. I've been on uh a constant journey to bettering myself, to being in the right rooms, inserting myself in conversations that I can hear people that are thinking differently, that are doing differently. I actually paid 5 figures to be in my first mastermind, and it literally was life changing. Like I was in there with people that were getting like 6 and 7 figures a month. Okay. So to be in the rooms and in the spaces with these people, learning how they think, learning their perspective, learning the high level things that they're doing, it just really, it really did something to me. I had never been around that. And if you trying to go somewhere, you really got to insert yourself as much as you can in those rooms, and sometimes you got to pay. Okay? So I was willing to pay and I did it, and I'm so grateful that I did it. But on this journey, um in my road to a million, my goal is to really grow family office founders. So what I'm doing is called It's a weekly masterclass. And at the end of the masterclass, I'm doing an offer. Right now, the offer is $2,000. So I just have one offer. I haven't really, I have other things, but right now I think I just have one thing for sale. Just one. And that's $2,000. And it's really just to work on your family's generational wealth. I found out in generational wealth that there are two operating systems, okay? One operating system is all about wealth, right? It's all about money. It's all about estate planning, insurance. It's about wealth building, investments, all of that. One is about wealth. And then the other one right here is about your family. So one builds the wealth and one builds the family. So what family office founders, my company, is to speak to this one right here. That's really helping you to build your family to be able to carry that wealth that you build, because in the transfer, that's where things fall to the ground, right? That's why over 70% of families will lose their wealth the next generation. And then two generations from now, 90% will, because that's when you are transferring, that's when the collapse falls, right? And that's why Family Offers Founders is here to pick up the pieces and help you while you're building your wealth. Let us help you build your family so they can carry it, right? So that's what we're doing. And like I said, right now I have one offer. I don't got a whole gang of them. I'm working on some more eventually, but I just have one offer, and that's the Legacy Lab. And the Legacy Lab, again, that's really just helping you build your family to position and to make sure that you all can carry the wealth that the wealth builders are building, right? To bring us as a family, because one could chase 1,000, but two could put 10,000 to flight. There is power in unity, power in numbers, right? So I just believe that, we weren't inherited large amounts of money like our counterparts. You know what I'm saying? But I still believe that we can do great things when we come together. And I have founded a system where we can come together and we could do some things. So anyway, about this $2,000 offer, I've been working on it for a while. And with my master class, I've been working on it and I have it down. I think I have it down. I do it every Friday. So literally every single Friday, I do this master class. It's about an hour long. And at the end of it, I offer everybody that comes the Legacy Lab, my $2,000 offer. Okay. So right now, that's my only offer. And we're gonna get to it. So I definitely invite you all to join me on the journey. I'm gonna give updates every so often. So when you see on my channel Road to a Million, it's me checking in with y'all. And really it's not even about y'all, it's really about keeping a commitment to myself. Okay. For so long I said that, you know how you say you're gonna do things and you just don't do it for some reason. You may be discouraged, or you may not think that, you're good enough. I'm not worthy enough. Who gonna be interested in my story? Guess what? It's your story to tell, and you deserve for it to be heard, because you never know who it will help, right? You never know who will be blessed by your life. So it's just me again, just keeping this commitment to myself. Um, and just being transparent on everything that happens. I've been refining my master class, right? So I've been doing it for some months. I haven't really tracked how many months, but I do know that probably more than 20 people have not come yet. Okay. For the months that I've been doing it, I probably haven't even got 20 people. So right now I have a system, and let me just show y'all, since you know what I'm saying, since we here, I might as well just show y'all what's happening. And this is probably my proudest accomplishment, because can you all see it? Hopefully you can see. So I have come up with this system, right? Now I told y'all, well, no, I didn't tell you. I've been a big dreamer all my life, right? I've always wanted things. I always knew I was gonna have money. I've gotten prophecies that I was gonna have money, but my life and the prophecies wasn't lining up. And this has been for years, for decades, right? And all this time I've always been big on my goals, right? And writing goals. I mean, I've been doing this since I was a child. But what I learned was you cannot say you want $50,000 a month if you are not doing $50,000 a month action. Right. So that's really where I had been faltering. I say I want to make $10,000 a month, but what are you doing to quantify it? How are you qualifying for a $10,000 month? Right. So I read the 12-week year, right? I forget the authors, but the 12-week year, and they talk about this scorecard that you make, right? So this is what you see before you. This is my 12-week year. And as you see, well, as you will see, I literally just started it because you see the start date right here, right? So I'm just starting this, right? So that's really why I'm doing this channel, because you all are at the beginning, the very, very beginning of my journey. Like I said, I have not made a sale or anything, but I am not stopping this time. I have stopped on so many of my goals. I have literally never, this is the first time that I'm pouring my whole self into my goals. Do y'all know what I'm saying? This is the first time, right? Um, And my goal is really to get off the job. I love the job. I love what I do, but it just don't make enough money for me. And I know that the value that I'm giving, let me tell you, I was I was coaching a client the other day. Now I'm also a home ownership coach, right? So I help people prepare. I'm HUD certified. So I help people prepare for home ownership, right? So I had a young lady, I probably met her about 3, 4 years ago, and she came up to me because she wanted a home. Now, at the time, I had coached her. I told her everything she needed to do with her credit, um, and I told her all of that, my job, right? But then I just happened to see her maybe 3 or 4 years later, and I'm gonna get to this scorecard. Just stay with me, stay with me. But I seen her 3 or 4 years later, and I was like, I said, do you have a home? And she was like, no. And I said, well, how was your journey? Do you still want a home? And she was like, Michelle, I can't even. She was like, of course I want a home, but I can't even see how I'm gonna get a home. I don't even see it. And I just began to talk to her, and I said, well, what do you do? And she was like, well, I work in the kitchen. She was like, I'm a lunch lady at the school. And I was like, okay, okay. And I was like, well, do you like it? She was like, I like it, but it's not enough money for me. Like, how can I be a homeowner? She was like, I got approved. And it reminded me of me, because when I first got pre-approved for my house, they said I was making $10 an hour at the time. They said, okay, Michelle, well, with your debt and everything, you qualify for like a 25, $30,000 house. And who want that? Who want a $30,000 house, right? So I felt her. So she was like, "Yeah, I don't qualify for nothing." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Well, what do you think it is?" I said, "Are you satisfied with your income?" Because I was really trying to get to the heart of the matter. And she said, "No, no, I'm not satisfied. I can't do nothing else." And I said, and she just began to cry. And I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, I was working at a hotel, right? And I was making $10 an hour. But I said, I had to realize that just because I was making $10, that does not mean my value is $10, right? My value was not $10. I was doing a $10 job, but my whole value was not $10. So I said, what you need to do is look inside. I said, you need to see what you want to do, what you're good at. And I said, then you need to take that skill to the top. I said, you need to up level your skill. If that means a certification, if that, whatever that means, you need to learn a skill. If you need to learn a skill that will help you to make you some more money, right? Because yes, you are a dishwasher and you cook, lunches for the babies. I said, but that's not your worth, right? You have to be able to separate your job from your worth, right? So she began to cry, and I kept working with her, working with her, working with her, and now she's literally getting a certification for PMP, right? So she's working on something. She took control of her life, And I'm so happy for this young lady. So the moral of the story is just because you are where you are, you have to be able to separate what you're doing from who you are as a person and the value that you can give. Income follows value, right? So you may be doing a $10 job like I was doing, but that don't mean your value have to stop there. So I literally had to, just like this young lady, I had to up level my skill. I got more certifications in financial coaching and, taking it to the top. And now I'm getting certifications in family wealth, right? Because I want to be able to provide greater value in this space, right? So anyway, as I was saying, I never just gave my whole self to my dream. When I said I was pursuing Broadway, I thought I would be doing Broadway. I got so close, but I stopped. And when I got rejected, I literally just stopped. And it made me just sit in the corner for years. I worked, but I didn't sing. I stopped singing, right? Because I was so discouraged. I felt like I wasn't good enough, right? And this time, with this dream, with this goal, I am not letting anybody stop me, right? Woo. I'm not letting anybody stop me. I'm not letting myself stop me, right? I'm literally determined to take this to the top because I believe that this is the missing link in generational wealth. Everybody talks about generational wealth. Everybody desires generational wealth, but we're only helping one side of the equation. The other side is completely ignored, right? So that's why I feel this is God led, God inspired. And I really do feel like I'm called to this work. So me showing up every Friday with nobody there or somebody there, it don't matter. I am doing everything I know how to do to literally take this to the top. Not because of me, it ain't even about me, but it's because God is sending help to his people, right? God is sending help. So anyway, y'all, I can't even believe I did all that. So anyway, this scorecard, back to the 12-week scorecard that I set up. As you see, these are the things right here. These are the KPIs, and these are the things that I need to do every week. Time with God. I need to review my goals, right? I need to have one long form video published once a week, okay? Then I need to invite people to my webinar. I said 10, but when I talked to chat about my KPIs, so let me tell y'all about that. So I had these KPIs that I wanted to do. So let me even tell you that journey. So at my job, I work for Operation Hope, great company, fantastic company. I love it. At this job, we have maybe I shouldn't have said that online. I don't know, but I do love my job. But anyway, at this job, we have KPIs that we have to do as coaches. Everybody got KPIs at the job. And I thought, you know what, Michelle, if you got KPIs at your job, you need them for yourself. Like if you say you love this work, what God is calling you to, why don't you take this as seriously as your job, right? And I said, okay, thank you. Let me do it. So anyway, I wrote down some KPIs that I thought I should do. I took that to chat and I said, chat, I really want to make $1 million. And I said I want to do it in under a year. Chat said, okay, Michelle, what you got is cute, but what you got ain't gonna get you 1 million in under a year. So chat did this right here with my webinar invitations. I'm supposed to do what I wanted to do 10 a week. Chat said, if you want $1 million, you got to do $1 million action, baby. So chat said you need to do 25 webinar invitations a week. And for me to get partnership touches, I said, I'll do one a week. Chat said, no, you need to do three, baby. Okay. And then I said, I want to do, follow ups. Well, I didn't even have follow ups. Chat said you need to do follow ups and you can start with 5, but chat was like, you really need to be doing 20. Okay. And then, did I deliver my webinar? One full webinar, right? A week. So that's one. I told y'all I'm doing that. And then you need to improve your conversion. So it's that. So one touch to improve your conversion. So if that's working on a funnel, working on your emails, your automated emails, whatever that looks like, working on a system, you need to have one touch a week, right? And that's cool. So that's it. So check this out. So I put this in chat and I said, okay, chat, well, can you make me a spreadsheet with all of this? Y'all, Chat GPT did this in 41 seconds. Okay. Chat did this. I didn't have to do nothing. All that you see, y'all, I'm not smart. Okay. I don't even know how to do Excel. All I know is how to put the information in. And that's all I got to do. Chat literally set this up, right? So check this out. This is the daily scorecard. So this is where I'm putting in what I do. You see the day of the week. Did you do time with God? Yes. You see that drop down? So it was 0. I put 1, right? Your goal review. Did you review your goals? Yes, right? Your YouTube stage. What YouTube stage are you at, Michelle? Uh, so outlined, recorded, edited, published, right? Ain't this so good, y'all? So did you publish the video? Not yet. We got 0. How many people did you invite to your webinar today? None. How many people did you prospect? Follow-ups, right? None. How many partnership touches? None, right? So today I am on Sunday. So I've had my time with God. So I put 1. And then I have my daily review. I put 1, right? So, and then I have published my YouTube. Well, no, it's not published, but what am I doing right now? I'm recording my video. Boom. Y'all hear me? Record it. Ooh, God is good. So, anyway, but y'all see this and then check this out. This is the good stuff right here. Do you see this report? So every week I have a report for myself, right? So your target was 7 times with God. You got 6. You were at 86% for that, right? So these are all my goals, and this is what I completed. So far I'm at 70%. I got 1 day to go because I talk with my accountability partner every single Monday, right? So y'all, let me tell you, it's not about it for me. I feel so accomplished. It's not about have I made a sale? No. Have I made any money? No. I ain't did none of that. But what I feel so accomplished about is because I am doing this accountability, and I have never, not once in all my life, held my feet to the fire and been accountable for myself. You can say you want to make $50,000 a week. You can say you want to make $1 million. But if you are not putting in the work, and if you are not keeping your promise to yourself, you will never get it done, right? So this is the reason that I feel so accomplished, because I'm sticking to this scorecard no matter what. And you know what? I even downloaded it on my phone because wherever I am, there is no excuse not to make progress and not to see my progress. I am daily putting in that data, so then chat at the end of the week, chat can look at my metrics, look at what I've accomplished, and tell me what I need to work on. Even without chat, I don't need chat to do that, because I know what I need to work on. I know I need to be inviting people to my masterclass, right? So thank y'all for coming today. Thank you for those of you that are even here. I appreciate you even wanting to stay to this journey. This is really my first one. As you see, I am not really adept, at YouTube, but baby, we here, and we're gonna keep our promise to ourselves. Okay. So thank you so much. I'm gonna end the video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye bye.